Welcome back guys, it has been a while but I am back, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you a bit more about Limit Duel. I want to give a more in-depth explanation to how that game mode actually works, because I still feel like a lot of people are confused about the keys and the bar, etc. So let's jump right into it and explain a few things. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is the bar itself. Now, there are thresholds which I think everyone should know of when they're going after a boss character. Now, Abby from the Discord, his friend actually got full Hollow Ichigo in 10 keys. Now that is an extremely rare, very rare example of getting a boss character with that amount of keys. So don't think that you can get 10 keys and try and get full Hollow Ichigo, because chances are that probably won't ever happen. But the reason I'm mentioning that is not because of the low amount of keys used, but the point of how much the bar was filled by those 10 keys. So the bar roughly reached halfway. Now the reason that's important to know is because that's one of the thresholds of when an awakened boss will appear. So the next threshold would be three quarters, and the one after that would be a full bar, or almost full. So of course these may be thresholds, but there are variations, so these are all rough. It could appear a little bit earlier or a little bit after that threshold. So please do keep that in mind, that these aren't concrete, it's going to appear halfway. No, there are some slight variations. This brings me on to my next point. It could take me 60 keys to reach halfway, yet it could take you 30 keys to reach halfway. So although keys are important, the important thing to note is the threshold of how far you have to get, and you can kind of get a feel for the threshold as you start using some keys, or maybe even from your daily tries. So in my last video, as an introduction to Limit Duel, I spoke and said that you need like 70 to 80 keys to guarantee an Espada character. Now in most cases, for most people, that's probably the case, maybe a little bit less keys, but if you're unlucky, you're going to need over that amount. So it's not a complete guarantee, but the amount of keys I would recommend you start grinding a Espada character with. So you could need over that, but the rebate you get from spending the amount of gems on buying the keys should cover how many more you'll probably need if you don't get him within that range anyway. So that's good to know. For full Hollow Ichigo and Bankai Yamamoto, I would recommend 80 keys, 80 to 120 maybe. Now there's no harm in getting that many keys and getting him in less keys, it just means that you can farm more of him in the future. So don't feel like it's a waste to farm so many keys and not need to use all of them to get the character. It's even better if you don't, because that's going to help you farm him again faster. So even though I'm recommending like 80 to 120 keys, these are blue keys by the way, for full Hollow Ichigo. For Bankai Yamamoto, those are dazzling keys, so I can kind of see how it's a lot, but it took me like 97 keys to get Bankai Yamamoto, I think. So I just feel like he has a higher chance of needing more keys than other characters. That's just my opinion, I'm not saying it's a fact, that's just how I feel about it. So I would recommend like 80 to 120 keys for both full Hollow Ichigo and Bankai Yamamoto. Generally you should be able to get a feel for how many keys you're going to need from your daily tries once you're starting to reach the end of the week. Or you could spend 5 or 10 keys, especially on the lower tier boss characters, which are easier to farm, to get a gist of how many keys you'll need. There's no really set way to know, apart from judging on how fast or how much the bar is increased by each key you spend. That can give you a good idea of how many keys you're going to need. So hopefully that makes more sense. So just a quick recap: thresholds, half bar, three-quarter bar and full bar. Ranges that I would recommend for Espada characters and for most of the other boss characters, I would say 70 to 80 keys. For Bankai Yamamoto and full Hollow Ichigo, I would recommend 80 to 120 keys, give or take. Bear in mind guys, that of course luck does play a part in all of this, so you could get him in way less keys than what I've recommended, and that's perfectly fine. The more keys you have, the safer you'll be. If I've missed anything, or if I've made any mistakes I don't think I have, please let me know in the comment section below. Hopefully this explains the game mode itself in more depth. We can't give you a complete, like a certain set amount of keys you're going to need every single time to get the boss, since that's not how the mode works. There's a range. When you're embracing the grind on this game, playing it safe is the way to go. So with that said, feel free to like, comment, share and subscribe. I'm out.